Jonathan here. Welcome to Beer Tour in Seoul. Today, I got you a little interesting Korean beer here called Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea. Bigslide IPA, it's American IPA style with Australian, Germany, and Canadian malts and wheat, Australian, American, Germany hop. So they used fundamental ingredient for brewing beers. The ingredients from all over the place. They mixed and created this wonderful Bigslide IPA. So why would Playground Brewery in South Korea name their IPA the Bigslide IPA? As you can see in the label, you will see something that reminds you in the childhood playground. As the name suggests of their brewery, the Playground Brewery in South Korea, they put a big picture of a big slide that you would see in a children's playground. They wanted to kind of emphasize that memory that you had in the childhood, that pureness, having fun with your friends. They want to kind of give you that essence of the memory back so that you can enjoy while reminiscing that childhood memory, having sip by sip of this beer. So, American IPA style, the IPA beers, typically we would kind of foresee the taste and flavor already, the hoppiness and just mainly the hoppiness world. So that strong scent and flavor from the hop should be emphasized. And let's take a look if this Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea, and let's take a look how they have created, and let's take a look what they have emphasized in the taste. So Bigslide IPA, 5.4 alcohol percentages, and let's sniff. First sniff that I have, just mild, just a slightly hop flavors, but nutty and very tiny bitterness from the scent. And let's pour the glass for you. And the smell. And usually the IPA was, you would smell a lot of hop flavors. But here, I smell nutty more than the hop. And the taste, there is a bitterness and that freshness as soon as you take the sip, and that nutty flavor is very lovely. It's very smooth, but unlike the standardized IPA flavor that you look for, the hoppiness, this is slightly hop. But I love the emphasized nutty flavor in this Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea. Wow. I actually enjoy this. Well, I haven't ate dinner yet, but I might be hungry, but so I may be more geared to that nutty flavor, but who knows. But this nutty flavor is lovely, smooth. It's one of those beer that you can have one can and another can after and one another. Very light. Interesting. Well, as the standardized IPA style beer, that standardized characteristic of the IPA beer, this Bigslide IPA of course lacks that standard. There should be more hop. The hoppiness, of course, it's slightly less than that standard, and the malt flavor and that, not the malt flavor, that malt characteristics in that standard IPA, it's not there. It also lacks that body. It's very light. However, that nutty flavor in this IPA, it's somewhat stands out in the IPA amongst the all the types of IPAs that are out there, and I quite enjoyed this. The nutty flavor and that slightly bitter, slightly hoppiness and that freshness altogether. But one of the things, that nuttiness that are emphasized in this beer is something that I am very interested in. It's very flavor. It's very light. I wish it had a little bit of more body than this, but it's made in purpose to fit in the entry level, because we are all, most of the people, the dominant people who drinks beer, we are used to drinking tons of that mass-produced lager styles, right? So that means carbonation, a standardized flavor in the lager that we take one after another. So this IPA, the Bigslide IPA, has entered that entry level so that people could enjoy a strong characteristic of the beer that stands out in amongst the all over the styles of the beer, and you can easily enjoy one after another. What I mean by is that when one specific type of flavor or style has been just corrected to that standardized level, usually having 1 pint or maximum maybe 2 would be, for me, it would be maximum of intake, because that richness is something that will not tolerate and digest it after reaching that full amount of consumption. So this entry level, allowing me to enjoy that nutty flavor and a little bit of the hop and bitterness and that refreshingness one after another and another, is very enjoyable. Great beer. So for this beer, I would give 3.9 out of 5 because I would love for this beer to have a little bit more of body than this. That refreshingness is also good, but I would have more emphasis on the hop a little bit more since this is an IPA. But overall, this nutty flavor, it's on the first sip of that moment, that nutty flavor that's flowing in your mouth along with that hoppiness, bitterness, and that refreshingness is also perfect. So it's a quite enjoyable beer, and I would recommend to those people who are looking for a new flavored type of beer in IPA style. Please go and try this beer. If you have a local beer store available with this beer, the Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea, please go ahead. This is an enjoyable beer, I promise. I would really love to drink this beer with something crunchy but sweet, like, you know, nutty. Although this is nutty enough, but if I had a side plate with a dessert, I would go with a crunchy, chocolatey, nutty kind of snacks. Whose finger foods. I think that would kind of balance with the bitterness of this beer. Yeah, it's a lovely beer. Thank you, Playground. Wonderful beer, and I would quote that this is another big step that Korean brewery has taken up to the next level of the average standard of our level. This is very enjoyable. Thank you. And also thank you guys for watching my video. Today I introduced the Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea, and it's a nutty, small emphasis on that hoppy, lacks the standard level of the IPA. However, that nutty flavor will quite shock you because it's so delicious and it's enjoyable, and it's a light beer at entry level. So anyone who wishes to try other than the lager standard typical lagers that are out there, please go ahead and try this Korean beer, Bigslide IPA by Playground Brewery in South Korea. Thank you guys, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will come back with a whole lot interesting beers that are out there in South Korea. And see you on the next video. Bye bye.